Hey guys, I wanted to go through and just do some extra examples with function notation for those of you who wanted it. These are optional. You don't need to do these at all. So if you feel confident with the stuff that we've done so far, feel free to just stop this video and go work on whatever you have next, okay? All right, so let's find the following. I think I might have to zoom in a little bit more, so let me adjust my screen if necessary. Okay, so with this, we want to find the following, f of negative 1. So I'm going to go ahead and just plug negative 1 into my equation. So it'll be 2 times negative 1 minus 1, which equals negative 2 minus 1, which equals negative 3. Awesome. I could plug an expression into my function. So if I'm finding f of a, 2, and then that's where I put my input, minus 1, and my input is a. So then I do 2 times a, I get 2a minus 1, and you ask yourself, have I simplified enough? Are there parentheses? No. Are there like terms I can combine? No. Okay, I'm done. G of negative 2 means I'm going to use my g function now, so when I plug negative 2 in there, it'll be negative 2 squared minus 4. Negative 2 times itself is a positive 4. Minus 4 gives me 0. All right, and then g of t means that I'm going to be plugging t into this expression. So I have my input squared minus 4, and my input that I'm plugging in is t. And then this is just t squared minus 4. Have I simplified enough? Are there parentheses? No. Are there like terms I can combine? No. So I'm all done. All right, for this one, we have f of x plus h. So that means anywhere that I have an input in here, I'm going to plug in an x plus h. So it'll be 2 times my input minus 1. And my input that I'm plugging in is x plus h. So we're going to have to go ahead and try to simplify this. I'm going to go ahead and distribute that 2. And I'll get 2x plus 2h minus 1. I have no more parentheses, and I don't have any other like terms I can combine. So I have simplified enough. All right, g of a minus 1 means I'm going to be plugging a minus 1 into my g function. So I have my input squared minus 4, and my input is a minus 1. Now, can I distribute that exponent? Absolutely not, because I have addition or subtraction happening inside of my expression. So what I'm going to have to do instead is I'm going to have to do a minus 1 times itself. So I'll just do that right off to the side first. You have to FOIL, so first, outside, inside, last. So a times a is a squared. A times negative 1 is negative a. Negative 1 times a is another negative a. And negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1. And then I still have this minus 4 at the end that I'm just going to bring down. And then I'm going to now look and see, I have no more parentheses. So now I'm going to see, are there any like terms I can combine? And I see a couple. So I have a minus a, and I have a minus a, then I have a plus 1 and a minus 4. So I'm going to combine those things. A squared is just a squared. I have minus 1a minus another a, so that's minus 2a. And then 1 minus 4 gives me a negative 3. Have I simplified enough? Can I simplify any more? There are no more parentheses, and then there are no more like terms I can combine. So I'm done. All right, for these ones over here, I have some nice composition functions. So that means I'm going to take my entire g of x equation, and I'm going to plug it into f of x. So my f of x has 2 times my input minus 1. My input is what my g of x equation actually is. So the x squared minus 4. And now I'm going to simplify. Go ahead and distribute that 2. So I have 2x squared minus 8, and then I still have that minus 1 at the end. Am I simplified enough? No, because I have some like terms I can combine. I got a negative 8 and a negative 1. So I have a 2x squared minus 9, and then now have I simplified enough? No more parentheses, no more like terms I can combine. So I'm done. This is g of f of x, and remember another way to write this is funky. It's got that little o in it. We like to write it instead like this, so g of f of x, because that shows me exactly what I'm doing. What I'm going to do in this problem now is I'm going to take this entire f of x function and I'm going to plug it into g. So I'm going to give myself a little bit more room to write here first. Let me just erase what we did there. All right, and so I'm going to find it. So g of f of x means that I have my input squared minus 4, right? Because that's what I have for my g function. And then my input is my f of x function. So 2x minus 1 is going to go right in there. And can I distribute that exponent? Absolutely not, because I have addition or subtraction happening inside of my expression. So this means I'll have to go ahead and FOIL. I'll do 2x minus 1 times 2x minus 1. And we'll FOIL, first, outside, inside, last. So I'll have 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Then we have 2x minus 1 is negative 2x, or excuse me, negative 1. Negative 1 times 2x is another negative 2x. Negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1. And then I still have this minus 4 at the end that I need to bring down. So can I simplify any more? Yes, because I have some like terms. Negative 2x, and then 1 and negative 4. So my final answer for this one will be 4x squared, because there's nothing I can combine with that. Minus 2x and minus 2x means minus 4x total. And then plus 1 minus 4 means negative 3. Am I simplified enough? There are no more parentheses, check, and there are no more like terms I can combine, check. So that's the answer to your last one. All right, we're going to go through now and work with some operations. So in this one, I have f of x and I have g of x, and what it wants me to do is it wants me to add, subtract, multiply, and divide these two functions. So we're going to go ahead and, for the first one, f plus g of x means that I'm just going to be doing f of x plus g of x. Okay, so I'm going to take my f function, 4x squared, plus 3x plus 2, and I'm going to add to that g of x. And when you're adding, you don't need to bother with parentheses at all, because you're really just going to be combining like terms. So then let's look at what my like terms are. So I have a 4x squared and a 2x squared. I have a 3x and a negative 5x. And then I have a 2 and a negative 6. So I can go ahead and combine those like terms. So I'll have 6x squared total, plus, nope, minus 2x, because I have 3x minus 5x, and then 2 minus 6 gives me negative 4. And that would be my final answer. All right, let's go ahead and do f of x minus g of x. That's the next piece. So when I do that, you do want to use parentheses because you're going to be subtracting the entire g of x function. So when I do that subtraction part, now I want to put my entire g of x function in parentheses because I'm subtracting the whole thing. Okay? So one thing we have to pay attention to here is this negative. I'm going to have to distribute it to each of those pieces. So really, we'll get, let's write it right here. This will be 4x squared plus 3x plus 2 minus 2x squared plus 5x plus 6, because I distributed that negative to each piece. And then now I can just combine my like terms. So now I have 4x squared minus 2x squared. I have 3x and 5x, and I have plus 2 and I have plus 6. So let's do 4x squared minus 2x squared would give me 2x squared. 3x plus 5x would give me 8x. And then, 2 and 6 would give me a positive 8. Awesome. All right, we're going to need some room for this next one, so I'm going to go ahead and erase what I've done so far. Sorry if you ran out of room as well. For these next two, I can probably fit them on this section. Or if you run out of space, you can always go flip to the back side of this paper and do some of the optional work there. Okay, just about done. So in the next one, we have to do a product, so f times g of x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this whole first thing times this whole second thing. And when we did some delta math problems with this, I used the distributive method, where we're just going to go ahead and distribute each piece of the first equation to each piece of the second equation. On delta math, they use the box method, and it doesn't matter which one you use as long as you keep your work organized in some kind of fashion. So this is when we're doing, this one is when we're doing f of x times g of x. Okay. All right, so I'm going to use some different colors. So for my first one, I'm going to do my first term times every piece in my second expression. Then I'll do my second term times every piece. And then I'll do my last term times every piece. Okay, and I'll try to keep my colors straight. All right, so 4x squared times 2x squared gives me 8x to the fourth. 4x squared times negative 5x gives me negative 20x cubed. 4x squared times negative 6 gives me negative 24x squared. So that's done with the first piece. Now with my second piece, I have 3x times 2x squared, which will give me 6x squared. 3x times negative 5x would give me negative 15. Oh, shoot, I already made a mistake. 3x times 2x squared gives me 6x cubed. There we go. 3x times negative 5x gives me negative 15x squared. And 3x times negative 6 would give me negative 18x. And for my last one, we have 2. We're going to be multiplying by every piece. So 2 times 2x squared will give me 4x squared. 2 times negative 5x will give me negative 10x. And 2 times negative 6 will give me negative 12. Now we're just going to go through and see if we have any like terms. So I have no more x to the fourth. I have a couple of x cubes. I have a couple of x squareds. I have some regular x's. And then this is my only constant. So then I'm just going to combine all my like terms. So 8x to the fourth is just chilling on its own. For my cubes, I have negative 20x cubed plus 6x cubed, which will give me negative 14x cubed. And then for my x squareds, I have negative 24x squared plus 4x squared, which will give me negative 20x squared. Oh no, and my minus 15. Hold on. All right, so negative 24x minus 15 more would give me negative 39. And then I'm adding 4 to that, so negative 35x squared. Yep, okay. And then last but not least, I can combine my regular x's, so negative 18 and negative 10 gives me negative 28x, and then I have just a minus 12 at the end. And then you check, can I simplify any more? Do I have any more parentheses? No. Are there any more like terms I can combine? No. Okay, cool. This last one's going to be really easy because we're just going to do f of x over g of x. So really this just means I'm going to be doing division. So I'm going to have 4x squared plus 3x plus 2 over 2x squared minus 5x minus 6. Wonderful. When we get farther along in Unit 2, you will feel more confident because we'll be able to start simplifying this more. But for now, this is all I want you to write, is to recognize that this means division, and that's where we're at. Okay? I'm going to run out of time if I try to do the other two problems with this one, so I'm going to go ahead and pause here, and if you want to keep continuing with the optional practice, go ahead and move on to the next video.